So for some reasons, while you're working with Excel, you might want to print out your file. So printing out your file might be that you want to convert this into PDF. Maybe, for example, if after you've done your summary analysis like this, you want to have this printed out, maybe for a board meeting or for whatever reason, as the case may be. In order to achieve that in Excel, what you may need to do first is, if I go to File, and then on the left menu, I would see the option to print. So if I click on print, this is what I get to see. So this is my workbook. This is exactly what I see. These are the columns: region, market, store, and trade date. But you will notice that this does not give me every single column that I see, that I have on my data set. But at the bottom here, I see the number of pages. This is page 104. If I use the forward arrow to go to the next page, it shows me some other columns here. If I use the forward arrow again, it shows me, then it brings me to the very last column, which is units sold. Then aside from that, I now see there's two boxes here again, and then I can go one more step and I see these two guys. Let's go back for the moment and see what's happening. Initially, when we went into print preview, so that menu is called print preview, and the shortcut to get into that is Ctrl P. So notice now that I have region, market, store, and trade date. So the first page that we saw went into all of this. All of this went into it, columns A to D. And then these other ones went into another page. Then we had the third page, and then we had this other one coming the last page. So what you will need to do, let's go in one more time. I click on Ctrl P to get into print preview, and now we see that we can only see columns 1 to 4. How can we manage to expand this so that we can see all of our columns? On the left pane here, we have a few options that are available. One of which is, if I come here to the printer, by default it is set to print to PDF. This is what you see by default, which might be what you need in most cases. Other times you might want to connect this to an actual printer. So when you click on this drop down, if your system is connected to an actual printer that you've used before, you see those options here. And if you want to add a new printer, you can add it directly from here. So your file gets printed or sent to that printer when you hit the print button. But for now, we'll leave it to print to PDF. And then this setting says that we can print active sheets. So what active sheet means is every single thing that we have on our worksheet at the moment is what will be printed. But we have an option here which says print selection. What this means is, if I go back for a moment, and then I highlight this data area, you notice that I only highlighted the data area like this, and these two boxes, they are not in the selected area. If I go now into print preview and I come in here to say print selection, what happens is that the highlighted area is what will get printed at this point in time, and those two small tables will not be part of this. Initially, if you remember, we had 4 pages, so now we are down to 3 pages. So if I go forward again, this is the last time we see, and we do not see the small tables come into play. So this is what this means. So whenever you want to restrict the print region to a particular place of your worksheet, you can have that particular place highlighted, and then you come here to select print selection. So I'll take this back to how it was earlier, and then here we also have an option to change the orientation of the page. So if I click on this drop down here and I say that this should be changed to a landscape, so you notice that the orientation is now changed. So this now goes into a landscape. And yeah, obviously we have more pages to deal with now, but we have a page that is wider, and we'll probably take in more columns. Then you can select the kind of paper you want to print on. Maybe you want to print the letter size, or you want to print it onto A4 or A5, depending on if you actually want to print this out. and then you can set the margin as well, and you have the option to scale. So let's look at what it means to scale. So what we can do here is you can actually fit all the entire data that is running into 5 pages now. We can ask it to fit everything into a page. So let's see this option. So when I click that, this is what we see. So we see everything shrink into a single page. So this is pretty tiny. It probably doesn't make sense here. So another option is to fit all columns on one page. So now you know that our columns at the moment we were only seeing. So if I go back to no scaling, so this is what we see. We have just 6 columns visible here, which means that 2 or 3 other columns would have been taken into another page. So we can actually force this so that all of the columns will come onto a page. So I click fit all columns into page, and this is what we'll have at this point in time. And we have an option to also fit all rows, which might actually be more like a fit sheet on one page because of the data that we have for now. So this is the basics. This is the foundation for printing in Microsoft Excel. In the next lesson, we'll now look at how we can actually alter all of the setting to make this print properly the way we would like it to happen.